If your crochet decorations look more like clutter than class, it's not because you can't crochet. It's because of what you're choosing to make and how you're finishing it. I'm going to show you the exact crochet pieces that make guests stop, look around a room, and ask who made this. Not the stuff that gets one compliment and then sits in a drawer for 2 years. I mean the pieces that make your whole living room or dining table look like it belongs in a magazine, using nothing but a hook and some yarn. By the end of this video, you'll know which pieces to make, what colors actually read as elegant instead of childish, and one small habit that changes how every single piece you make looks in a room. So stick with me, because this last part is the one most people skip, and it's the reason their crochet decor never looks quite right. Let's talk about why so much crochet decor ends up looking messy instead of elegant, because this is where almost everyone goes wrong before they even pick up a hook. Most of us learn crochet the same way. We start with a big skein of soft acrylic yarn and a fun color. We make a granny square blanket or a chunky pillow cover, and it turns out cute. Cute is great for a baby blanket. Cute is not the word you want for your dining room table. The problem is that a lot of people try to take that same cozy, chunky, rainbow style and use it as home decor, and it just doesn't read the same way. It reads soft and homemade in the way that says grandma's couch, not in the way that says this house has good taste. There are three things that quietly separate elegant crochet decor from decor that looks like a craft fair table. The first is yarn weight. Thick, chunky yarn almost always looks casual. Thin cotton thread, the kind used for old-fashioned doilies, almost always looks refined. The second is color. A rainbow of bright colors reads as playful and young. Cream, white, soft gray, sage green, or one deep color on its own reads as elegant and calm. The third is finishing. This is the one nobody talks about, and it's blocking. Blocking is when you wet your finished piece, pin it out flat or into shape, and let it dry that way. It takes the curling, the puckering, and the uneven edges out of your work, and it is the single biggest reason store-bought looking crochet looks different from homemade looking crochet. Keep those three things in your head because every single piece I'm about to walk you through follows them. Let's start with the piece that gets noticed the second someone walks up to your table, and that's a crochet table runner made in thread instead of yarn. A table runner is one long strip that goes down the center of your dining table, and it's one of the fastest ways to change how a whole table looks. Most people either leave their table bare or throw on a plain fabric runner from a store. A crochet lace runner made in a simple shell stitch or a fan pattern using cotton thread in cream or white looks like something passed down through a family for generations, even if you finished it last weekend. The trick is to keep the pattern repetitive and even. You don't need anything fancy or complicated. A simple repeating shell across the whole length with a small scalloped edge looks more elegant than a busy pattern with 10 different stitch types crammed together. Elegant almost always means simple and consistent, not complicated. Once it's done, block it flat so every scallop along the edge lines up evenly. That one step is what makes it look tailored instead of homemade. Next, and this one surprises people, bring back the doily, but not the way your grandmother used it. Doilies got a bad reputation because they used to show up everywhere, on every armrest, under every lamp, in every color of thread imaginable. But a doily used the right way is one of the most elegant pieces you can put in a room. Instead of scattering a dozen small doilies around, make 2 or 3 larger ones, at least 10 to 12 inches across, in one single cream or white thread, and use them under a candle or a vase or under a small plant. One well-placed large doily under a single glass candle holder looks intentional and elegant. 10 small doilies scattered on every surface looks cluttered. The rule here is fewer, bigger, more intentional. Now let's talk about something most people never think to crochet at all, and that's a garland for your mantle, your wall, or your window. A garland made from small crochet leaves or small crochet flowers, all in the same one or two colors, strung along a thin piece of string or thread, turns a plain mantle or a blank wall into something that looks styled by a professional. The key here, again, is color discipline. If you make every leaf a different shade of green or every flower a different color, it starts to look like a kid's craft project. If you make every single piece the exact same shade in a soft sage or a deep forest green, laid out along a mantle with maybe one candle or a few branches tucked in, suddenly it looks expensive and considered. This is one of those pieces where restraint is what makes it look elegant. Now let's move to something small but incredibly high impact, and that's a set of matching coasters. Coasters are one of the first things a guest touches when they sit down with a drink in your home, and a plain store-bought coasters says nothing. A set of 4 to 6 crochet coasters made in a simple round or hexagon shape in one solid neutral color stacked neatly on a side table or spread across a coffee table is one of the cheapest and fastest projects on this list and one of the highest impact. The mistake people make here is using leftover scrap yarn to make each coaster a different color to use it up. Resist that urge completely for this project. Matching, matching, matching. A set that matches perfectly looks like it was bought as a set from a boutique. A set where every piece is a slightly different color looks like leftovers, because that's exactly what it is. Now here's one most crochet channels never mention, and it might be my favorite on this entire list, and that's a crochet cover for string lights or a small lampshade. Warm string lights already make a room feel cozy, but wrap small crocheted motifs, little rounds or hexagons in a soft cream thread around each bulb, or drape a loosely crocheted mesh piece over a lampshade, and the light shining through the stitches creates the soft, warm, textured glow that looks like it came from a high-end home store. This works especially well around the holidays, on a porch or strung along a mantle or a bookshelf. The light glowing through the open spaces in the stitches does most of the work here. You don't need a complicated pattern, just an open, lacy one because the light needs somewhere to shine through. Let's talk about one more, and this one is for your walls, and it's a small, minimal crochet wall hanging. Forget the giant, chunky macrame-style wall hangings you might be picturing. I'm talking about something small, maybe the size of a dinner plate, in one neutral thread color, hung on a thin dowel or a piece of driftwood, placed above a shelf or beside a mirror. A small circular crochet piece with an open, lacy pattern, framed simply and hung with a bit of negative space around it, reads as art. A giant, busy piece covering half your wall reads as a craft project. Size and restraint matter just as much here as color does. One more small piece before we get to the part that ties everything together, and it's the cheapest one on this entire list, and that's napkin rings. A set of simple crochet napkin rings, just small bands wrapped around a cloth napkin, made in the exact same thread and color as your coasters and your runner, takes almost no yarn and almost no time, but it's the kind of small touch that guests notice without even realizing why they noticed it. Slide one around a plain white cloth napkin, set it on top of a plate, and it instantly looks like a table someone actually planned instead of a table someone just set. The mistake to avoid here is treating it as its own separate project with its own separate color. Match it to everything else on the table, and it stops looking like an extra decoration and starts looking like part of a full table setting. Now here's the part that actually changes everything, and it's the one thing that ties every single piece we just talked about together. So pay close attention here, because this is the difference between a house full of nice, individual crochet pieces and a house that looks like it was designed by someone with real taste.